That is one big pile of shit.
I can't stand Jurassic Park 3, and a lot of it boils down to just personal preference, of course. I don't think it's a good movie, but I don't think it's genuinely awful. Still, I seem to hear more people speak positively of this than The Lost World, and that just baffles me. A checked-out Spielberg is still better than Joe Johnston's best work, even when he's somehow dealing with the script from the Academy Award-winning screenwriters of Sideways, which I consider to be the best American film of the century.
No, if anybody orders Merlot, I'm leaving. I am not drinking any fucking Merlot!
Jurassic Park 3 makes clear what this series is moving forward. This isn't a series about intelligent science fiction and the repercussions of playing God. This is a series about monsters. Sure, the San Diego sequence of The Lost World opened that rabbit hole, but Jurassic Park 3 barrels through it in a way that the series would never be able to recover. Alan Grant's the big returning character this time, and he's actually pretty compelling in the first act, especially given there wasn't much to him in the first movie. He acknowledges something that the other sequels forget.
Dinosaurs lived 65 million years ago. What is left of them is fossilized in the rocks, and it is in the rock that real scientists make real discoveries. Now, what John Hammond and InGen did at Jurassic Park is create genetically engineered theme park monsters, nothing more and nothing less.
But then he also thinks they're still kind of worth studying, and he's somehow able to 3D print a Velociraptor resonator from a skeleton that actually works on these genetically modified, mixed with frog DNA dinosaurs, so even the movie is inconsistent with this, to be fair. The supporting cast lets the movie down, with Billy being perhaps the worst character in the entire franchise. And the Kirbys have a bit of depth, but the movie's a bit too quick to forgive them for their duplicity, even if their duplicity is ultimately justified because it's an effort to find and rescue their son. And sort of like Goldblum in The Lost World, just William H. Macy doesn't really feel like he belongs in this movie. I mean, he kind of does, because he's not the badass adventurer that he initially claims to be. But this is also so obvious just looking at him that it's kind of frustrating that it takes Alan and Billy a while to realize it. Yep, this is the third Jurassic movie, and the third in which we've got kids in danger. The franchise will just not let this idea go. When things get going on the island, it moves quick. The movie is the shortest in the franchise. It is a very fast-moving movie, and it's entertaining enough initially, leading up to the T-Rex versus Spinosaurus fight, that's disappointing on a few levels. One, it's too short. Two, it should come at the end. This is something Jurassic World, for all its problems, gets right. The dinosaur v. dinosaur fight should be the climax. And three, it signposts that this is indeed the Spinosaurus movie. When I first saw this and saw that the Spinosaurus killed the T-Rex, I was like, oh, that's fine. We saw 2 adult T-Rexes last movie, and there was even a juvenile that might even be an adult by now. They'll come back and right this wrong. But no, it's all Spinosaurus all the time, except for a few underwhelming Velociraptor sequences, including the most underwhelming ending since The French Connection. The Pteranodon scene's okay, I guess. It was about time we got these guys involved. Jurassic Park 3 is short, but not very sweet. It's a mediocre monster movie that kind of shits on the dinosaurs you loved in the previous movies, and its big attempt to recreate that Spielbergian wonder is shockingly hollow, given that it comes 5 seconds after Billy's supposed death, and over halfway into the movie. I'm not sure I've done a great job articulating why I dislike this movie so much. It does lack all the heart of the first movie, but that mostly applies to The Lost World and all subsequent sequels as well. But Jurassic Park 3 is sort of an ugly movie. It abandons the rainforest aesthetic for a more woodland look, with leaves on the ground and much darker lighting. This is the third Jurassic movie to feature a new cinematographer, and while the DPs behind the previous 2 were responsible for The Thing, Back to the Future, and Spielberg's West Side Story, Shelley Johnson's worked on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 and the first Captain America movie. The dinosaurs are also ugly, and I don't mean the effects, which are probably a bit worse than the previous two films due to the occasional dodgy green screen effect, and a bit less fluid movements in the animatronics, but they all kind of look like the Spinosaurus with this reddish, sort of freckled look, and it's just kind of ugly to look at. The movie's also oddly structured. While we understand that the initial attack scene is due to an unseen Spinosaurus, most of the first act sets up the velociraptors as the ultimate threat, only for them to be a letdown.
Were it not for the cataclysmic events which overtook them, it is entirely possible that raptors, rather than humans, would have become the dominant species.
And easily overshadowed by the Spinosaurus. You might be tempted to say this was an attempt to surprise the audience, but I'm going to disagree given that the Spinosaurus is on the poster. This was the last Jurassic movie for over a decade, and it's not difficult to see why.